Hey everybody, welcome to this live. Thank you for joining me to talk about this Diddy trial. Today we have Jane Doe on the stand, returning to the stand. They didn't keep this woman on the stand for about 5 days. We have confusion, we have tears, we have fear, we have harrowing stories, but the coercion, I don't really see it yet. And I think the jury has to be as confused by the testimony as we at home are. Uh, Before I get into Jane Doe real quick, we just gotta first keep in mind that Bryana Bongolan, yes, she testified under immunity because what? Because she was a supplier for Diddy and Cassie for their pharmaceuticals. She was slinging, even though she was a designer and supposedly one of Cassie's friends, uh, best friends. I mean, they were acquaintances, they hung out together, but all of these people were partying hard together every week, including Cassie. Cassie's spot was the place for this, along with Mia, Deontay Nash, Carrie Morgan, a dude by the name of Rob Holiday, a producer. Sometimes Diddy, I heard. But this is a weekly thing with these people. And even with this supposed, did it happen the way she said? No, not quite. And this is what Diddy considered a win. He felt like his defense, Nicole Westmoreland, she really brought it home, and he was nodding his head because Diddy has evidence that this did not happen the way Bonna said that it did. Now we have, let's just go to Jane Doe. I'm going to talk about these different witnesses, not all of them, but especially the women that are saying that they were in fear, that Diddy threatened their livelihood, to take away their homes, their way to earn an income. They felt like their life was in the balance, like what Bonna testifies to. Whoa, that was really something. But even the way those details were laid out. Let me just say, since I mentioned that, Diddy was really happy about that testimony and the way his defense attorney handled it because he has evidence to say that he was somewhere else. This is supposedly at Cassie's West Coast apartment. Diddy was on tour on the East Coast. And he has hotel bills, his breakfast bills, to substantiate that. And I'm sure there's also hotel footage. I'm sure that the authorities can get the CCTV footage to say that Diddy was on the East Coast. But Bonna still says that this happened on September 26th, and maybe her memory, she went into a whole memory fog. But there's metadata on the pictures that her girlfriend took that this happened on the 26th. Since she said that directly after the attack, she went to the chiropractor, it's just the whole thing, it's a big mess. I got a cough, excuse me. But Jane Doe, my girl. Diddy was already dating one of her friends. And Diddy was already famously, let me get to that picture. Let me get to that. This is a live, y'all, so excuse me. I have some images up here. I went back to another setup of mine just to show y'all this. Well, just to keep some images going. But Young Miami also, these are different footage. This is from when Diddy, Young Miami, that's her on her show. This is Diddy and Young Miami, very publicly dating. Not the most traditional couple. Diddy and Cassie were also not a traditional couple. But Young Miami and Diddy, this is a picture from the Met Gala in 2023. I think that was in May. But Young Miami, it's easy for you to find that. She says that she was with Diddy on New Year's of 2022 when he brought his baby was brought into the world. They spent New Year's Eve together. And Jane Doe says that she spent New Year's Eve with Diddy. And it was a particularly hard hotel night. That's what they called it. It was a particularly hard hotel night because it went for so many hours. And there were It was more than one adult entertainer. Um, and she says, of course, the first time she did it to please Diddy. She talks about romance and love. But how can you think that you're the only one? Even people were coming at Young Miami publicly to tell her you're a side chick. This was all over the place. You couldn't miss it. Uh, and I couldn't miss it either. I don't know how they got my attention, but this was a very public thing. You can't believe that you're in some kind of romance when he is bringing a baby into the world and Young Miami is there. And then just come on, a man proposing this to you. Diddy got off a long relationship with Cassie, 11 years. He didn't marry her. You can see the way this man moves. He's a playboy. He likes his freedom. He has a particular way that he likes to be entertained. And he is not treasuring these women. Is he a scoundrel? I would say he's a scoundrel. I wouldn't want to date anybody like that. I wouldn't want my sisters, my daughter, but they say everybody has their price. And for her, getting her rent paid, having her rent paid $10,000 a month, sound pretty good. I'm sure there were other perks, dinner, of course, traveling, food, shopping, parties, but it was clear for this woman that she wasn't the only one. She did a lot of breaking down in the courtroom. I think it was to gather her thoughts. It has to be hard to be in a courtroom being cross-examined by these seasoned attorneys. Like, hey, we have text messages. Let us show you those where you are in an exchange with these adult entertainers. You're like, yeah, it's gonna be, yeah, I'm ready. And even when Diddy introduced this to her, he was like filling her out. He's like, yeah, you think about, you have any kind of fantasies? Oh, I can make that happen for you. This came out in testimony. Diddy, I think she said this on the stand. I can make this happen for you. And Diddy got on the phone to one of his go-tos and they had one of those kind of nights. She even said by her own accounts that it was something like exhilarating, it was a thrill, and she thought it was a one-off. I don't know how you think you can open Pandora's box like that. And a man of that age lets you know what he likes. And you think it's not gonna happen again? A man with deep pockets like that, that can summon people to do all kinds of things for him. I mean, the man, he has a lot of, it's his disposal. Diddy was considered a millionaire, but not a millionaire, but a billionaire at one point. Of course, his assets have been dwindling, especially since this case started. But the woman signed on for this $10,000 a month. It couldn't make her feel good. Maybe she's one of these women that actually thought that she could change him. Find it hard to believe, but she dated him all the way up until the time of his arrest. And I know Diddy must just sit there like, wow, really? But Diddy, he made this recipe in his life. He called these elements into his life. And actually, I think Diddy is some kind of, you could say that he's a deviant, but he's for sure an addict. He's an addict with the pharmaceuticals. He's an addict with his sexual appetite. And in the end, I think he'll get some help. But the coercion, it's, talk to me. And I am all for, please understand, even though I think of this from the defense, their position, because it is up to the prosecution to prove this case of RICO. This false imprisonment, forced labor, and trafficking. Diddy is the only one that doesn't benefit financially at these parties. He's not financially gaining. He's not running his music business as a front to traffic people against their will. That would take some serious logistics to, most of the time you hear about trafficking, you have some women being warehoused somewhere. You got these men, the guards running around, keeping them in place all the time. It's something to do to keep these women in check, even fear and coercion. But even when you look at, because I'm jumping around, even when you look at the CCTV footage with Cassie, and please understand, I say bravo to Cassie for her pain and suffering and being compensated for the man just sucking her life away. She also agreed to make her man happy and then went down a road. I can imagine that a woman stepping into that situation, you may think that you have things under control. Clearly they didn't. But I'm all for a woman being compensated, a child being compensated. And that's how these women make themselves seem kind of childlike. Like, oh, I was in fear, I was under his spell. But it clearly couldn't have been this way, because every time they had these hotel stays, she would go back to her respective place, being a mother that she is, having a child to take care of. And Diddy goes on to his things, being who he is. Diddy, ready to party at the drop of a hat. Actually, with all this activity, I don't even see how he really manages to keep it all together, his empire. Because you gotta have your eye on your money. Maybe he's just going around the clock, but this man was doing this stuff on the regular with Cassie. That's a lot of years of keeping your appetite up that high. But Miss Jane Doe, she's confusing me. Man, I'm jumping around. Because right now I cannot get Bryana, what's her name? Bongolan, her testimony about Diddy dangling her over a 17th floor balcony. Actually, let me get this. I would never go back to Cassie's house I would never go back to Cassie's house if, actually, I guess I could let these stills go behind me. We're not gonna get another picture of Jane Doe. You see her face was smeared out. And this is what they found when they arrested Diddy, the cash. Let me go back. And the baby oil. If they said a woman was with him when they arrested him, it could have been Jane Doe. All the way up until he was arrested, she was with him, hanging out. So this stuff is just like, it's just really even affecting my senses. Why do we keep hearing about something that's so clear, that the man is physically abusive with women, he mishandles women, he proposes situations to women that are very indecent? We know this, he is a scoundrel. Why is Diddy not being charged for this behavior that should carry some kind of sentence? Okay, they said what happened with Cassie in the hotel, it has passed the statute of limitations. But can this woman testify to being manhandled by Diddy? Probably not if she was with him. I don't know. I don't want to sound insensitive, but the prosecution has these people on the stand. Bonna, a drug dealer, getting immunity. But Diddy's representation, Nicole Westmoreland, just told her straight out, you're lying. You're lying. You saying this date, you saying these things happened. Even the way she said that Diddy entered the apartment, he charged at her and she sat on the balcony smoking a doobie or a cigarette. How did he get in the apartment? Cassie sleep. Even Cassie's account coming out saying, did you hang her over the balcony? Now, does that sound like Cassie's in fear? It sounds like Cassie's kind of stepping to Diddy. They have these moments. Now, the other thing that Diddy's defense brought out is, okay, she didn't say this, but let us consider that maybe it didn't happen on the 26th, maybe it happened on another day, because Cassie's phone was looked at by one of these tech forensic specialists, and they extracted an old text message from Cassie to Kristina khorrum saying Diddy came over here, whatever she calls him. He came over here while we were sleeping and he hung my friend off the balcony. I can't go around there no more. That's what she's saying. So Cassie in 2016 is saying, no, I can't go around there no more. So clearly she can speak for herself. But this is what's so interesting about that. Cassie says this in a text message on the 30th of September 2016. And then Miss Bonna and Cassie get into an exchange about the 8th of October, which is just about a week later, to have a girls' night. And Cassie's like, oh yeah, you're gonna bring your girl, and what are we gonna eat, and this and that. And then Bonna says, hey, does Diddy want one of these, whatever she calls them, puff, whatever. Does he want one of these hoodies or this t-shirt, whatever this sports gear is? So it's like still this chilled kind of feeling between them. And then Diddy takes the opportunity a couple of days later to text Bonna himself, not to talk about this hoodie or t-shirt, but to say, you know what? If somebody's supposed to be your friend, you're supposed to at least watch out for them and make sure that they're good. I'm paraphrasing that, but not much. And then at the end of that text, he said, if you're gonna do, let me go back. He said, if you're gonna do K with somebody, they're using the initials for the drugs, the pharmaceuticals. If you're gonna do K with somebody, you should at least, you're supposed to at least make sure your friend is good. Basically that, those elements. You're doing this, make sure your friend is good. That's kind of whack. Like, that's messed up what you did. So her saying, I don't know why to this day, Puff was mad at me. You know why he's mad at you. Because you're supplying Cassie, by her own accounts. Cassie was, she had an affection for Oxycontin, that actually has caused a crazy epidemic in the States with people being on drugs and just their bodies going into some kind of decay. But these kids, they was all partying hard. They were doing a cocktail of drugs every week along with the alcohol. So there are no real snowflakes around here. This is all another kind of lifestyle. And I don't even think anybody in the jury has the background to really understand. I don't even know if I totally understand. I can't. You're talking about a billionaire spending money, partying the way that he wants, and people saying yes to him. I can guarantee you, if Diddy was a plumber, this would not be going on to this level, and people wouldn't be hanging around for years upon years, like Cassie and like Jane Doe. She was in Diddy's life for 3 years. So she's saying, Diddy was saying, like, girl, if you don't do these, then, you know, well, we can go our separate ways. And I'll take care of your rent for another 3 months. But after that is, you know, I'm out. And she deliberated and decided, I want to keep my apartment. So I guess I'll keep going on with this. That's what she says. Is she saying that because this has reached the light of day and now she wants to cash in on this story? She must, I would imagine, she's another one of this 100 or so people that Busby says will be part of this kind of class action lawsuit against Diddy. But that's something that shows you there is no honor among thieves if she's dating him all the way up until his arrest. And some reports are saying that she looked like she was conflicted on the stand. I think it's just a lot of pressure to be on that stand. And this story, it don't make no sense. It's confusing. What do y'all think? I'm just like, you know what? I should check this live because I'm like away from this camera and I'm sitting back and I'm just all over the place talking about this stuff. But I don't think any of us, like, they're bringing on this witness, the video specialist, the forensic specialist with almost 30 years of experience. to authenticate the CCTV footage and explain why it was jumping around and why there were problems with the timestamp, but that the video is authentic. The defense is not arguing that it's not authentic, but I've seen, and y'all probably seen, plenty of CCTV footage from other crimes, and whatever, other just scandals. I've never seen CCTV footage move along that fast unless it was enhanced by somebody. So saying that this was really the way the native system captured it, something's going on with that native system then. But they also had this specialist look at those freak off videos, the swinger videos, at least 10 of them. And still, I don't think anybody in the court of public opinion or Diddy's defense would say that those videos are not authentic. That's not the problem. It's the RICO of it all. It's the false imprisonment of it all. It's the trafficking, the coercion. Who was he doing that to? He's an eccentric freak that likes to get down like a very small percentage of people do. It's just a very small percentage of people on the planet that can even pay somebody to do this kind of stuff, because it's really out. But I mean, let me see. Is anybody here? Is anybody here? I just had to jump on because the trial is going on and I'm hearing about this Miss Jane Doe. But this whole thing is a mess. Cassie got paid. Why was she ever on the stand? Why don't we bring Cassie back to the stand? Since Cassie is the star witness. They put a lot of weight on Cassie. Cassie's the star witness, and then you have Jane Doe that's supposed to bring it home like a home run. This is not it. This is not it. A woman willing to satisfy the needs. She basically turned herself into a professional for this client, because Diddy is not giving up the love. He's giving up his variety of love, but she said that her and Diddy fell for each other and they were saying, I love you really quick, like in the first week, but it's not love for you. It's love for the way he likes to get down. He loves his vice. This is his vice, and it may bring him to financial ruin before this whole thing is over with. By the time he gets done with these civil claims, even if he walks free from this, which I think it's a big possibility, because we have to separate ourselves. We have to keep separating ourselves because we keep continuing to hear evidence of physical violence, assault, mistreatment, all kinds, physical, verbal abuse. Nobody's arguing. I haven't heard one argument that that's not abuse. We all can sign. I think for the public, from where we stand, we would say right now, okay, he did it. Now what? But the prosecution's gonna keep this woman on the stand for 5 days. How? How? What does she have to say? She went on her shopping trips. Lord, I have to stop. I said what I had to say. I have to step out of this. I don't know if my thoughts were all that. I did make some notes, but this whole thing, it don't pass the smell test. Please let me know what y'all think. I'll be back. Next time I do a live, I will have my thoughts more in order. But I have one simple question. Could it really be that intoxicating to be Diddy's woman, or the woman of a rich man like that? Is it really that money, like the Bible says, the love of money is the root of all evil? It doesn't say money is the root of all evil, the love of it. So, hey, we'll see where this goes. But their testimonies can definitely be broken down. I thank y'all for joining me. Please check out my other videos. I just left this stuck on here. But yeah, I'll see y'all real soon. Till then, peace. Let me get out of here. Let me get out of here. Am I still here? No.